I said, all we have to do is weather the storm in the first half and they'll die off in the second. That's pretty much what happened. Pretty much what happened.
I told you from the start of the season, that first game I went to watch Sharks.
I didn't believe it.
I knew it.
I'm too inconsistent.
Yeah, but
I'm just making the same shit they've been doing for the last 100 odd years.
oh, yeah,
No discipline, cheap turnover ball, you know, cheap penalties, weren't defended. But now, like what I said after the last, especially the last 3 weeks, playing good footy. And I'm believing it. I reckon they can win the final. If they keep playing like they are.
And I remember in your office, I picked the Panthers will be in the finals. I said they'll make the top 8, and they'll be in the finals. They'll go for another premiership. They're going for 5, and the team to stop it will be the Sharks.
I think the Panthers game, I think Canterbury made, don't get me wrong, Penrith played well, really good, but Penrith made them heaps better than what they were. And they were terrible. They were absolutely low. They couldn't hold on to the ball for more
They were wrong when
than
they
3 or 4 tackles.
They put Lachlan in, and they took Saxon out. But Saxon was winning them all. Saxon there, they're winning all their games. So if something's not broken,
That's right.
they try to fix it. It wasn't even broken. That's from just our point of view. Yeah. But the Sharks, when we went to watch them, and they had so many, they were getting ripped off. The ref was giving them so much, the other team so much. If you look at the statistics last week, and I said to you, I watched that throughout the year. So they're doing double the work rate. If they're doing double the work rate and they're still winning games, it's like, man, that team is just a super fit team. Because they have to back up for the next week. And the week after them, we're watching them. I don't know how against young teams, like Storm came down and the big Storm there. I'm sure they were future after they were like Solomon as well, the big guy. Storm.
Yeah.
They were full strength there.
They won one this year.
Munster, they had Pat, they had...
Yeah, we built them.
They had full strength, bro, yeah, and they were getting penalised. Right, what about the time when the game was called, they penalised, the ref penalises Cronulla. The game's called, gives them another chance to get a try, and the guy goes and co-handles Bill Kennedy. Just punched him in the head. And he caused nothing, like that was it. That
actually
Boulder, yeah. He doesn't like black folks. He doesn't like Corey boys. He doesn't like them. That Ranger last week doesn't like. He doesn't like Corey then. I'll say it. They don't. And when you got Polynesian backing up brothers, they're probably intimidated. The rest are probably like out of their. They're too gubbified. They're like Parker's just freaking out. Like this, you know what I mean? They'd like to walk into a game territory or something. They don't know how to behave. And because they got this thing, they'll just blow their anxiety out of themselves. So they feel like, I have got control and they know, you know what I mean? You know, fucking you don't get. That's why they know now.
He used to be a real racist ref.
Okay.
What was his name? Harry.
I thought he was great, but he was, eh? Everyone says that, only because...
There was a game at Shark Park, and what's his name? Peachy was our captain.
Yeah.
He went up and asked
Dave, yeah.
He called him out.
David was alright.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
And he went up because he called him out because the few penalties went against Cronulla. And Dave talks with his hands, and he's going, you know, just gesturing with his hands. And Harrigan goes, stop disrespecting me and waving your hands about. And David's going, I'm sorry, sir, I just normally talk with my hands. And he did it again, accidentally, like, because that's just what he does. And he sent him off for 10. That was a joke.
just taught.
For using his hands, he wasn't saying anything disrespectful. He's being respectful and talking to him nicely. Talking to him respectfully. And just because he's using his hands, he wasn't going. He was just going.
Yeah. Wow.
He sent him off again. It was a joke.
That's the second time, you're the third person that I've heard. And his name doesn't really.
But I thought he was a good ref. Like he let things flow. He did like.
He was good for the Bulldogs. But the Bulldogs didn't have any black fellas back then. I mean, they got rid of Jonathan Thurston. Right. They might have had like a fair few Polynesians, but where's the Korea boys? I have to say it because I have to say it. It's not a Polynesian sport. I would have fucking 20 teams in fucking in New Zealand and fucking another 4 in Polynesia somewhere. This is a black collar sport. Either you're up in Queensland or New South Wales, but all along that east coast that we know of, this is actually the main sport. This is where it comes from. For all you guys that don't know out there, little conversation on the block, local toddy. We've got to school these guys, Toddy. They don't know. They don't know the big politics or football, the politics. It's history. You actually just Google it. We looked at it at school. Did you ever see like the legends of it? Like the marsupials would get the leather skin would be made and turned inside out for football. The stomach was blown up as the footy post, football.
No.
And the posts were made out of, man. I learned that in year 8. You know, Cindy Bell, rest in peace. She was there, she passed away 2 or 3 years ago.
The only history we had at school was the English history.
No.
A bit of American history.
That's what I said. We're a bit older than me. So we were the first school to get it in history ever. John Howard went to our school, one of the prime ministers. So but we were the first to ever get it. So I think we're very blessed to have that. After Cindy Bell, she was the head of the Aboriginal Education Board. She was our teacher. She was a math teacher and she was the Aboriginal Studies our teacher, yeah. So that's where we learned it. Mind you, I was so lucky, like all my cousins were in there. Yeah. It's multi-person, they're studying this like,
so it should
what?
be taught in
This
school.
is mad.
It should be taught just as much as
it should be a mandatory
any other
subject.
history.
It should be a mandatory
Yeah,
subject.
100%.
Like this should be taught.
Like it is the Australian history. It's the first people of Australia's history.
Especially when we're
It's
so
very deep, rich history, and everyone should be proud. Everyone should get taught it.
the oldest living contingency in the world. And there's so much to go up. Yeah, especially rugby league. Like rugby league, I feel insulted. I feel frustrated. What's it called? I'd say I feel passionate that this isn't even spoken or like. And the NRL is like a rugby league sport, and they claim all the royalties or whatever. Good on you. Just tell the story though. Tell the proper like where it comes from. This yarn should be told like this is the sport. You know, like the razzle dazzle, like that's already gone. That's gone out of it. Remember the razzle dazzle in the 80s? Corey Knocker would have been so famous for it. When the boys that used to go to rep players, I remember watching them at what's it called? The older boys. They used to play for Balmain. They used to come down to footy training, and the thing the plays that they used to do, the ball, like the no passes around the back of the neck. That one.
The old 80s stuff.
Man,
80s.
bro, the actual
70s,
proper,
80s.
and they were learning that from their dads.
That's
So
where
God knows what I didn't see.
I didn't like Union, but I liked Union for those reasons back in the 70s and 80s when the Elder brothers were around and all that.
Yeah.
Their backline movements were just incredible.
Yeah,
and
man.
so were like the rugby league plays.
So you see,
They were awesome.
Hey, remember the back line was a black line?
I tell kids today, I said, it's a simple move, but you create overlaps with it, and that's a simple runner.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand it until they started doing it, and they started scoring tries off it. Yeah.
What about Cliffy Lyons? I know they were showing him and Menzies on Fox. How he more or less brought that to the NRL, that unders, that shape, where turn opposition
They had an
back.
awesome combo back
And they
then,
did
eh?
that.
They didn't even have to talk to each other.
Yep. See, that would imagine seeing him. Did you ever see him in knockout?
No.
You see knockout plays. You see knockout football back then. Have you seen it? Far. Did you ever see the Zetland team? Uncle Mick and Uncle Boner, they played in that team. Did you see?
I didn't see much knockout back in those years.
What about Jake Witters, Dean's dad?
No.
Did you see his team?
No.
I only mentioned those two teams because both of those teams, they won I think Jake Witters won consecutively. A few knockouts. Also, they won like 11 or 12 all the knockouts that went on. And that team that Cliffy was in, Bo was there, Uncle T, they won all of them. I think Uncle Tony did that too. They won all of them. I think Chop Saber. They won like 13 of those knockouts. They won that. Oh, you know what team I would have loved to see? The one that the first Indigenous team that went over to New Zealand. And for y'all that don't know, I am Māori. I'm very proud in the right ways.
See, Uncle Mick was in.
Yes.
Yeah.
They wiped out the entire North Island. What, bro? What?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know what? In 2022 or 23, we went back for that All Stars, and the Australian team, oh, I don't care what anyone said, they were saying they're the best team, right? And the Māori team got offended. The All Stars was like, what are you talking about? Because they had just won. I think it was like 2014 or 15. They just beat Australia. And they were like, and then Tonga won. And there was talk about like, what are they saying that they're the best team? They got Korean boys in there. The best team in their eyes is that team, Uncle Mickey's team, the team that Uncle Mickey was in.
No.
That team, because that's not all. They know the history of it. Obviously, the history of the sport is Corey Murray game. That's where it comes from, right? So get this. I don't know if you know about this. So they played and they got beat. And Cobbo, so the Indigenous All-Stars beat the Māori All-Stars, but Cobbo dropped like 4 tries. So it would have been, what's that, bro? That's 4, 8, that's 16 points. Right, it was his first time there. So they won well anyway. They were going to win even more. And one of the greatest things I ever seen in football at speed was this Māori girl. She was the captain of the girls. I think they lose. I think the girls won. But she said like thank you in language. Like I started to cry. I started to tear up with my cousin or something. He was tearing up because he's got his partner's career as well. And we were moving, couldn't help it. And Melissa was saying, you guys are right. And we're like, man, wait till she translates. When the girl translates, Melissa started to get me. She's like, oh my God. And Brenda was hearing this. And basically she said, like, you guys are our ancestors. If you can find that speech, it's amazing. It's unbelievable. So she says, you guys are our ancestors. Thank you for showing us this game. We hope to see you in the future so you can show us more and teach us more about this game. Bro, what? Where's they ever said? They were said in Rotorua at that game. Then the men lost to the All-Star boys, the Koori boys. And then when they came up when Australia came up, because they said you should pay respect, the Māori told them you should pay respect. to these fellas because this is what's happening. You don't come out on this kind of this year when you're saying that we're going to pay homage to the greatest team ever because that team, this team wasn't allowed to go play the world tour. Yeah, and they still won't assemble all Koori, an all indigenous team to change the world and to wipe out the world basically. And so when Australia played New Zealand deliberately won. They made it a point to win. So you're not the best. We're better than you, but we got beaten by the Indigenous All-Stars. That's what they've done, bro. That's pretty cool, eh? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, fight for the people. Like,
There's a lot of respect between the
fight
two
for
cultures.
what's right. Like, say it right. Like, that's the truth. Hey. Well, some people, like, each their own. Some people like to live in lies. Some people like to live in the truth. And just living in the truth and respect, it's the right way. In that guy's eyes anyway. Eh? Well, if we're not going to say it, who's going to say it? I know he's not going to say it. He's going to do Ubers. This guy's on his phone.
Keep speaking the truth, that's for sure.
That guy's over there doing deliveries. Someone's going to say it.
Gonna get some breakfast. You want anything?
I just had a weirdest meal. Sausage and eggs with jam. Thank you for the offer. I'm shooting content. I'm going down to Circular K. But I'll sit with you
nice.
if you want some company.
No, it was just helpful. Nothing like that. Cool.